What's up, guys? Stacy here from Becoming Financially Fit, and it's been about 2 weeks since I've did my first investment into my Robinhood portfolio, and I've made a total of negative $5.79. But this is going to be an update of my $1 million Robinhood portfolio, so let's get into it. Before we get into the content, I make videos about personal finance, financial literacy, savings, and investing. So if you're interested in any of those topics, make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit the bell to be notified anytime I post new content. I'm also going to leave a link to Robinhood, the app, and the website, so you guys can also invest alongside me. So if you're interested in getting a free stock, make sure you check the link in the description below for your link to a Robinhood free stock. Also, for those of you who have already signed up using the link in my description, drop a comment below and let me know what stock you got as your free stock with Robinhood. So just for starters, I do my research when it comes to investing. Over the past few weeks and a little bit before this, I've had the opportunity to review some of the videos that I've seen on YouTube and other websites just to see what they're doing as far as their investing styles or how they go through picking a stock and put it into their Robinhood portfolio. And what I've seen from the majority of those videos is that they're doing some basic arithmetic, and they're just looking primarily at the things that are in the app instead of looking holistically at maybe a company's financials, some of the news articles that are going on, current events associated with that, and they're just taking a look at something like the dividend yield, or if it's been going up or down for the past, let's say, day or so, or week or so. And I don't want to give you guys any content like that. What I want to do, my goal for this portfolio is to not only invest and to build my portfolio up over time to make it eventually into a $1 million portfolio, but also to give you guys context behind each and every decision that I make in my portfolio. And to do that, I'm going to have to do my research, and I love to do that. Right now, I'm in finance, so when I'm actually going through any investment decision, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at the company holistically, top to bottom, and giving you guys my viewpoint as to why I am going to invest in a particular company. So now, what you guys have been waiting for, the 3 stocks that I'm going to put into the portfolio for this week. I'll give you guys a heads up. They're going to be some great companies that you may not have heard of, and I'm going to be doing a repeat offender. So the first company that I'm going to be putting into the portfolio is Tencent. Tencent Holdings Limited is a Chinese multinational investment holding conglomerate founded in 1998, whose subsidiaries specialize in various internet-related services and products, entertainment, artificial intelligence, and technology, both in China and globally. They're considered China's biggest social network, and they're the largest gaming company in the world. They're the 5th largest internet company on the planet, and some of their subsidiaries include social networks, payment systems, media, entertainment, smartphones, e-commerce, property, advertising, and many others. They also are the sole owner of WeChat, which has over 1 billion daily users. They invest in things like Fortnite, the parent company of Fortnite, League of Legends, and their profits for the most recent quarter, which is 2Q19, was $3.5 billion, which is a 33% year-over-year increase, and at a net margin of 28%, which increased from 25% this time last year. So for every dollar of revenue that they bring in, they profit about 28 cents, which I think is amazing. And last thing to note, they do pay a dividend, unlike a company of the size and scale like an Amazon, but it's not that substantial, so I wouldn't even throw that into the equation right now, but it might be something to factor in if you're looking for dividend income. Some of the benefits that I can see from a company like Tencent are the fact that they are a do-everything company, properly diversified to withstand recession, in my particular view. And so when you're generating multiple streams of income from some of the world's most popular and biggest companies to date, then I think you're good for any portfolio. So that's what I'm going to be throwing into my portfolio. But I do want to give you that information, but also give you some of the downsides, just so you know that although they may seem like a good company, here are the things that I may be worried about going forward. So as a downside, I would say that because they are spread out amongst so many businesses, and this is going to be on a global scale, they may not be able to focus on any specific business that their company runs or that their company is an investor in, and this can lead to competitors jumping into an industry that they may be unsuspected of and take over the market leadership. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware that just because a company is huge and they may be able to jump into every industry doesn't mean that they have their focus on every industry. So all in all, I'm investing in the company because they invest in video games, something that I play all the time. They have an ownership in applications that I've used, and they also have either a full ownership or partial ownership and interest in just about every big company that I might use in the future. So that's why I'm going to put them into my portfolio. So let's jump over to the Robinhood app and I'll show you guys the stock. So as you guys can see, here's my portfolio. I actually put in some money. So right now we're going to go into Tencent. As you can see, it's currently trading for $41.78. And it's down a little bit, 15% over the past week. As you can see over the month, it's right at about even. For the past year, it's actually it's up about I would say 20%, which is pretty good from its low point. So as you can see, here are some of the stats. Like I said, the dividend yield is about 0.28. Something that I really saw is that out of 49 analyst ratings, they have a 92% buy rate. So that's what kind of stood out to me, along some of the things that I mentioned before. So we're going to go ahead and buy one stock at the stock price of $41.76. The market's open, so I'm going to send that out and we're good to go. So now we have one stock of Tencent in our portfolio as well. So hopefully that goes up over time, but we shall see what happens for that one in the future. The next company I want to get to is one of my favorites that I've been following for a very, very long time, and that's the company Square. Square Inc. is a financial services, merchant services aggregator, and mobile payment company based in San Francisco, California. The company markets several software and hardware payments products and has expanded into small business services. Small businesses are usually overlooked, and their pricing structure is usually based off of volume and not their size or their specific needs. Square's flat rate structure helps them cater to some of the more smaller businesses, the mom and pop shops or the single franchises that may be out there. And one of the good things I like about Square is that since they track all of the transactions that a specific business's process, they can actually better market to that specific target niche business, or even if they get a collection of these same types of companies and they're tracking the transactions going on in each one of these companies, they can start to build a lot of great data as to which companies are doing well and in what regions, and maybe they want to start to expand and start to give those businesses some capital. They can actually see what their bottom line is and what they're making quarter over quarter. Some of the benefits about Square is that it's a simple, affordable, and easy to use software and hardware. And the main reasons why I'm going to be investing in this company. Just about anyone can go to the store and buy the Square equipment and be set up in their particular location within that same day, which I think is great. And that actually lowers the barriers to entry, because if you think about most other point of sale systems, it does take a lot of lead time, a lot of coordination, and switching over can be very, very a huge hassle. But a company like Square, you can do it in a day. You can be set up and accepting payments even offline if you wanted to. So it doesn't need to require a connection to internet as well. Some of the downsides I will say is that their target audience is the small business industry, and so if you have seen in other recessions in past history that some of the first businesses to go to actually shutter and close their doors are going to be these small businesses. So I think one thing that might be scary to me going forward when I'm investing in a company like Square is the fact that they're very, very overweight in small businesses, and they really haven't had a chance to establish themselves as a viable option for bigger companies, bigger franchises or chains like that. So I like the fact that they are focused specifically on a niche group like small businesses, but during a recession, they're going to be the first ones out of business, which is going to hit Square's bottom line pretty hard. So I would say definitely that's something to watch out for. All in all, I do love their products, and I think their software and their hardware are some of the best on the market. I do think for a company like Square to be super successful and profitable going forward, they're going to need to stay one step ahead of their competition. And because they're an up-and-coming company that has a lot of uncertainty surrounding their business model and their potential customer user base, I think it's going to be risky. But this is the risk that goes into investing into up-and-coming companies and companies that are in a sector that is emerging and being transformed by financial services and fintech. So I like the company, so I'm going to be putting them into my portfolio. So let's head over to the Robinhood app so I can add another stock of Square into my Robinhood app portfolio. Okay, so now you guys can see I have $96.99 of buying power left. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump on Square. Currently it's trading at $62.66. And as you can see over the past week, it's up a lot. It's up almost 10% over the past week. So we'll see if it can still sustain that that gain. I've seen, if you look at the 52-week high, it's at about $100.42. We'll take a quick look at the buy rating for you guys to take a look at, and also the sell rating. And like I said, I think this covers some things that we were talking about how they are focused on these small companies that may have an impact on them. And just as an added benefit, they also have ownership of Cash App. But with all that said, as you can see, they're up. Like I said, they were over that $100 mark. Now they're trading at $62, so this may be a bargain, or they may be on the downtrend, but who knows? Let's buy a stock. We're going to go in, buy one stock of Square for $62.78. So I'm going to swipe up on that, see if it goes through, and we're good to go. $62.79, and we have one stock of Square into the portfolio. So now I'm going to go back out and I'm going to show you guys quickly just a combination of what we have in there so far. So we have one share of Uber, AT&T, and I have about $34.20 left. So you can see I have Ford, Tencent in there. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going back into the well and I'm going to be getting the company Uber. So as you can see, when I first bought Uber, it was at $34.11, but now Uber is trading at around $30.15. I do think it's going to be a good company. I think it's going to be profitable for me going forward. As you can see, my average cost is about $34.11. So if I buy another share of this, my cost basis, my average purchase price is going to go down to something around $32. And hopefully we can try to catch Uber on the rebound. If you guys want some information about that, just check out my latest video. But I'm going to go ahead and buy one share since I have $34 of buying power left. And the stock is trading for about $30.16. So there we go. Now we have two total shares of Uber stock. Let me scroll down a little bit and I'll show you guys that I should have a cost basis, like I said, around $32.14. And for right now, that takes up about 28.46% of my entire portfolio. So hopefully that can go up for the time being. But just to give you guys an update on that, I've added another Uber stock to the portfolio. So hopefully that can get going forward for me. So all in all, I have two shares of Uber, one share of AT&T, one share of Ford, a share of Tencent, and a share of Square. I've given you guys a rundown about each and every one of these companies. I think they're going to be good for me going forward, but we shall see. So far I have two investments in my two automatic investments that went into my portfolio, so that's about $100. I also put in an extra, I want to say 35 2 weeks ago to buy those shares of AT&T and Ford, and then I put in another $80 this week to buy the shares of Tencent, Square, and another share of Uber. So I put in a little bit more, but that's because I've been saving some aside. Like I said, I kind of want to jumpstart this portfolio for you guys to make sure I have the optimal setting. But I think this is going to be to work out as a good viable option for me. I'm kind of spread out into different realms. Like I said, I'm in the communication space with AT&T. I'm in fintech with a company like Square. I'm also in tech as well with Uber. I think they're more of a technology company, or they try to claim that they're more of a technology company rather than a transportation company, but we'll leave them there for now. Ford, that's the auto industry. Tencent, they're a little bit of everything industry. That's going to be my budget option, and because I can't invest in something like a pricier stock like an Amazon, specifically through the Robinhood app. But that's just an example of, like I said, guys, what my portfolio is looking like now. All in all, I've put in about $220. Thus far, it's trading at around $215. So hopefully it goes up. Maybe we can start to see some gains. I know, like I said, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, so we'll see how it pans out going forward. So guys, I want to say thank you for being along with my ride of my Robinhood App $1 million portfolio. If you guys like my portfolio so far, make sure you give this video a like. If you think my portfolio is trash or you have some advice for me, make sure you drop a comment below and I'll definitely try to respond to you guys. To make it easy for you guys, I'm going to be putting all of these videos into a specific playlist, and I'll link to that playlist so you guys can be updated over the next couple months. What I'm going to be trying to do is getting into a cadence of releasing a video on the 1st of the month and the 15th of the month, or maybe a day before, depending on when my assets hit my account, or if I decide to pick up a stock, I'll actually post you guys and give you guys a video about that as well. But other than that, guys, this is Stacy from Becoming Financially Fit, and this is my Robinhood App $1 million portfolio. So if you like the content I'm putting out, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to the channel, and make sure to hit the bell to stay updated anytime I post new content. But I'll see you guys in 2 weeks when I do my next investment in my Robinhood App $1 million portfolio.